Blessings, beautiful souls. Lion Queen Young G here with today's message. We are reading from Isaiah chapter 49 verse 25, King James Version. But thus saith the Lord, even the captives of the mighty shall be taken away, and the prey of the terrible shall be delivered. For I will contend with him that contendeth with thee, and I will save thy children. When we think about our loved ones and their relationship with God, it's common to worry, especially when they seem to be struggling, turning away from the truth, or distancing themselves from the Lord. It can be discouraging to see those closest to us appear far from the gospel. But remember this, God's love for them is greater than ours. In this verse, God says, I will contend with him that contendeth with thee, and I will save thy children. God recognizes the spiritual battles we face concerning our loved ones and promises to fight for us. This truth is incredibly freeing. While Satan may try to make us feel like we have to fight for them, God reassures us that he is already doing that. How comforting is that? God cares for your family more than you do, and he is working to bring them to the truth. Instead of feeling like we need to preach to them constantly, we should be praying for them, trusting in God, and believing that he will bring them into his light. We need to remember that Jesus didn't die just for us. He died for everyone. Sometimes we feel a heavy burden to see our loved ones come to know Jesus. We think it's our responsibility to convince them, but the reality is that Jesus already finished the work on the cross. He didn't only die for you, he died for your entire family too. All sins, past, present, and future, were nailed to the cross for everyone. God is the one who draws people to himself. It's not our words or persuasion that save others, but God's grace. Satan may try to convince us there's no hope, especially when we feel rejected, but the victory is already won through Christ. God's love goes beyond our doubts. One of the hardest things as believers is waiting on God's timing. We want to see our loved ones come to Christ now, but God's timing is perfect. He knows exactly what needs to happen to bring them to him, and he's never late. We need to trust that the seeds we plant through love, prayer, and sharing the gospel will grow in God's timing. God's heart is for everyone to be saved, including your family. His love and patience are far greater than we can imagine. Even when we don't see it, he's always working. Just because there's a delay doesn't mean God has said no. We must not place a period where God places a comma. Trying to control God's timing only brings stress and frustration. Instead, we need to trust him completely. God never intended for us to carry the burden of saving our families. He is far more capable of reaching their hearts than we are. When we truly trust this, peace replaces our anxiety. Rather than begging God to save our families, we should be thanking him for the salvation that Jesus already secured on the cross 2,000 years ago. If you're struggling with the salvation of a loved one, take heart. God is already at work. He sees them, loves them, and is fighting for them. You don't have to carry the burden alone. Trust that in his perfect timing, God will draw them to himself. Amen.